You are watching Masala Box Travel, and I'm Chitra here to take you on yet another journey. This time, safari through Wayanad. Wayanad National Park, specifically Tholpetty National Park. I arrived at Tholpetty National Park one evening. Honestly, I thought this is going to be an offbeat destination, there would be no crowd and so on. But it was a long weekend and there was plenty of crowd waiting already. So I decided not to do the safari in the evening. I was just walking up and down the road and I came across this amma selling pickled fruits. There were natanga, amla, pineapple, manga. So I decided to gobble up few pieces of pineapple. This was so yum. It's salted water along with loaded kandari maraga. Nice spicy kick to this pineapple. I had nice pineapple, some cutting chai, and I decided to return in the evening. So the plan was to do a morning safari. I enjoyed the drive to Tholpetty National Park and returned. So the next day, early morning, around 5:30 itself, I was up and started the drive towards Tholpetty National Park. Any national park for that matter, the morning sightings are always more probable to see than in the day or as the evening proceeds. Needless to say, I was there by 6:30 and there were just two other families waiting along with me at the ticket counter. So the ticket counter opens only at 7 a.m. But the first in, first out system works here. And even in the previous day in the chai kada, people were saying you come early morning by 7, you be the first jeep to enter the park, then you would have chances to sight. And I understood why they said that only by the end of the safari. The previous day it had poured so well. The rain was very high, it was monsoon, so I had kept my expectations on sightings pretty. The entry ticket you cannot book online, you have to come to the ticket counter and take. It is 150 rupees for per adult and the jeep is 720 rupees. So if you come as a family, you can hire a jeep, or even if you come as a solo traveler, you can pair along with others and share the jeep cost, or you can take the jeep all for yourself. Doesn't make much of a difference. As and when you take your ticket and walk out, there's a person who will allot the jeep to you and you will get the corresponding jeep driver and jeep. There is no specific naturalist and driver in the jeep. You have one guide who drives you through the jungle, up and down the Tholpetty National Park. It was more like an off-roading experience through the park. The park was rugged, it was full of greenery. The greenery was spilling onto the road. That such was the monsoon. The plants were almost right up to the road. It was such high, thick grass that I was wondering, even if we get to see, even if there was a tiger presence for that matter, we might never be able to see. Such was the thick greenery. We came across a herd of deer soon, and they were pretty surprised to see us. Since we were the first jeep in the morning, I think they were pretty startled by the sound. If you observe closely, the 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 surface is filled with spider webs, and the mist has settled so beautifully on top of this spider webs. It looked like a magical land driving past these umpteen number of spider webs with tiny droplets of water collected over it. Sadly, the jeep wouldn't stop for me to take a better picture of it. By now, I was chatting up with the driver, listening to his sighting of tiger stories and leopard stories. So, there is a population of tiger in Tholpetty National Park as well, no denying of that. And everybody were saying, even in the chai kada, they were saying yesterday, if you have luck, you would definitely get to see the tiger. Honestly, that's one way people hype up the hope and send you for a safari. But choose your park wisely if you want to sight a tiger. Nagarhole, Bandipur, Mudumalai, Wayanad, all of these parks lie close to each other. And if you are a wildlife lover or a safari lover and you want to experience the forest, then prefer going to the wildlife sanctuary in Wayanad. Because here you would get to see things like deer, elephant, dhole. Even dhole is difficult to sight actually. But tiger, I really doubt. For tiger, you can go towards Kabini or Bandipur. Those safari videos are also on my channel. Please do go check that out. I mentioned in the beginning, if you are the first jeep to enter, then you are lucky to spot animals. This is pretty much the reason why I said that. Because there are no zone divisions within Tholpetty National Park. It's one road and there will be back-to-back jeeps entering in. As and when, it's not like 6 to 9, certain number of, 40 jeeps are allowed between 6 to 9. But as and when, let's say you come at 8 o'clock, you can get a ticket and a jeep will be allotted to you. And it will be a 1 hour, 1.5 hours drive through the jungle. It's not like all the jeeps enter at 6 o'clock. There are different zones. The jeeps will split across the zones. That's not how Tholpetty National Park works. Whatever time you come, if the jeep is still allowed, morning only 40 jeeps are allowed. Post 40, they will stop giving you the tickets. Evening, post 3 o'clock, 20 jeeps are allowed. Once 20 jeeps are over, you will no longer get the ticket. That's how the system works. So what happens once the jeeps start going in, there's going to be a plethora of jeeps following you. There is a little traffic jam inside this Tholpetty National Park. At this juncture, I realized we are not going much forward. We take a reverse of the vehicle and you go down again the path you came in. So the vehicles that entered late into the park, you'll be crossing them as well. So the amount of noise that's going to be there in the jungle, I really don't think much of animals would come out for the noise that's there. That's a Malabar squirrel, but I'm shooting in my mobile, so that's not very clear. So there is a concept of, let's stand at a place patiently and wait for a sighting, which you would see in other parks if you've been on regular wildlife safaris. So that will not be there because it's one road and the jeeps have to be constantly moving, giving way for the other jeeps to come in and go out. So this is more like a T junction kind of a road. You go through one way and halfway through you go out. Throughout the park you'll see streams like this flowing around. That's the beauty of this park. Lush greenery, water streams everywhere, all of this go and join with the Kabini River. So the mindset that you should need to have while coming to Tholpetty National Park is just enjoy the drive. It's about a 90 minutes of drive. Enjoy your drive. If you're lucky, you would get to see elephants. And the best season to visit would be somewhere from October to January, because I understand that's the time when Shabarimala season starts, and most of the elephants would migrate to regions like this. The Wayanad stretch. So that's when you would get to see a lot of elephants. Frankly, there were elephants. I got to see a lot of fresh dung, but no elephants. I could even smell one of the elephant. It was in musk. When an elephant is musk, a very eminent fragrance would spread through the forest. I even got to see that, smell that, but no elephant sighting. And as I said before, Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary is huge. So if you're staying near places like Kutta, Manantavadi, and Tirunelli is very close to Tirunelli Temple is very close to Tholpetty National Park. So you can make a trip of all these together. You can go to Tirunelli Temple, or you can go to the National Park, do your safari, and then go to the Tirunelli Temple, or do it vice versa. Otherwise, if you're staying near Sultan Betri side, then you can go to Muttanga. So either of this park you can do for a good safari experience. With that, we arrived at the end of our safari. So it was a little disappointing to have not spotted even elephants. My hope was to spot at least elephants, but even elephants we were not able to spot in Tholpetty. Maybe next time when the season is high to spot elephants, we'll be able to see them. So my safari started at let's say 7:15, and I was out by 8:30. So by 8:39 you can already see the crowd pouring in, and by the logic that I told how Tholpetty National Park works, one jeep behind another, I would strongly suggest go early morning, experience the jungle. It is still a nice experience between the wind and the mist and all the greenery. Enjoy your safari as early as possible. With that, we come to end of another travel video. Please do like, share and subscribe to Masala Box Travel.